Welcome back, everybody. I wanted to make a little video about my outfeed table for my, I got it right here, my portable Dewalt table saw, which travels with me everywhere I go. And the outfeed table that I've come up with, it's economy and it works very well. It's a great little asset to my industry that I have going. And so check this video out. I hope you like it. And you got to wait till the end because that's where all the good info is. Thanks so much. And that makes 50 strips that I needed. Strips, rips, it's all the same. What's the most impressive thing you're seeing here while I'm doing this? Is it the footwork, which is amazing? Is it the constant feed rate without ever stopping and stopping? One steady flow all the way through the board? Is it maintaining perfect pressure against the fence all the way through every single cut? 50 cuts, mind you. Is it the PPE, the ear protection, the dust mask? Is it the dust collection trash can? Is it the outfeed table? I'm here to talk today about the outfeed table. It's a simple little table. It was originally a table just like this, bought from one of those large box stores. The legs swing up like that. The legs fold down. It stores away nice and flat. I could stand it on the side of the trailer or what have you. I'm going to show you a little bit about it. Okay. Here's my dust collection, which collects pretty decent amount of dust. There's still some dust that gets out, but it keeps my yard better than it would have been. Here it is. I just installed this today to help hold the trash can for the dust collection, because sometimes that trash can would vibrate loose and lay down, or sometimes I put a brick or a block behind it to keep it from sliding out. And I thought I'd try this, and I don't know, it's not a bad thing. But anyways, you see, I didn't remove any legs. Still has the front, or this set of legs and that set of legs. What I did do is I put a screw into here through the leg into the structure. And I did it on this side too, in the center. This side didn't have one of these, but it had that to keep this leg from opening. And on that leg, I made these brackets that hang out a little extra distance from the table. so that the fence still has room to slide wherever it needs to go. And there's still even a ½ inch of space. So you can see how I made a little notch here that fits over this rail. This rail goes all the way across. My notch hooks right into here, and that's what holds it. I put a little round over just so there's, fewer interferences as I bring it in. So I bring it in, I pick up the right side, the back side, just so it sits fully on that rail. And as you can see, I allowed a little distance in here so that the fence can slide wherever it needs to go. As the wood comes across the table saw, I've got a little bit of clearance there. And then as it passes over, it has something to rest on. So here is that table. It was already an old table I had. It already had a lot of stains and marks, and it doesn't matter. It's all okay. I had put things on it to paint. I had put things on it. It's a plastic table, so I didn't worry too much about it. One day I saw a YouTube video with a carpenter who had a very nice outfeed table that did exactly what this is doing. And he even posted a link to several of his tools, and that outfeed table was one of his links. I liked it. I looked into it, and I thought it had a price tag though. And I'm not saying the price is unfair. I was just thinking, oh, why do I need to? I don't need to buy that. I have tables that I don't really use all the time. I had some leftover tables from something, and so I thought I'll just make one, or I thought I'd look into it. Can I just make one? So I thought I could just make one, and as it turned out, I did make one, and it worked out pretty well. It's a little crude. It's not a piano, and but it's I've had it for a couple of years, and it works really well. I You see how it just dropped into the saw. There's no fasteners, no wing nuts or nothing like that. It just This notch sits on that rail, and that holds it in place. And then on the other end, before I go too far, I I lay it down, I pick the legs up, and then I pull this bar to lock the legs in place so they don't lay down. And you saw already these legs are already screwed into position, so they're not going to accidentally fold up. These legs have these arms attached to them. There's two pieces of 3/4 inch plywood that make up the arm, and then I added an additional piece of ½ inch plywood to go a little bit further to get into the side of the leg. And you can see right here, I've got a screw here, and I've got a screw here with self-tapping screws is what they are, going into these metal legs. And I pre-drilled at all of my locations, I pre-drilled the metal legs just barely slightly smaller than what the self-tapper did. Or it might have been the exact same size, so that the threads would still tap as they walked into it. And you can even see my screws came through the backside, which is good because it's biting on both sides of that original metal leg. You can see that here also. I put these legs in the same manner. Two pieces of 3/4 inch plywood to make the leg itself. This one has some additional structure. I two-piece this because there's this obstruction here, and I wanted to get around it. So I have into this leg, I have a screw here, and a screw down here. And so when the metal leg hits this for its friction to hold it shut, it still has no interference there. Over here, I added that space to bring this leg this way so it would clear this leg. This one, in order to clear this leg, I put it directly underneath like that. And the profile, this edge is pretty much in line with this edge. It works great. I chamfered these edges just so it's not sitting on a bigger footprint. I gave it a smaller footprint, like a 1-inch square, to finally sit on. As it gets locked into place, that gives me a little something to pull it out with. And there, it's locked into place. When it connects into the saw, like on this end, if it were on the saw here, those legs just sit on the ground. It's a little ugly. But what it is turning an old table that I rarely used into something very useful for me. It doesn't hold all the weight in the world, but it's usually a few cuts stacked on there. And if there's, I've never had any issues with weight. I can use it as a work surface. I could do some work on it. It holds, it's a table. It holds what a table holds. But then eventually, when I've got a lot of material and I'm stacking them up, I put it over on my Boris centipede tables because those hold all the weight. This holds some cut-offs, this and that. I could do some sanding on here. I could do some whatever assembly on here, but it's still like an imperfect table. I do most of my work on either this router table, which is a nice surface for me, or my Boris centipede tables. That's about it. I wanted to show everybody's asking about my outfeed table. What is it? What's going on there? How'd you do that? But it it stows away very nicely. I keep it in my trailer. There, it's done. I pick it up. Where I put it in the trailer, I've got a bungee coming across, and I just pull that bungee over here, and that holds it. It keeps it from flopping around. I keep my. I'll show you. I'll show you. Here's my table surface for the Boris centipede, and which is amazing. This is a nice half-inch. It's made out of half-inch Baltic birch, 3 layers on the ends, and I might do a video about that one day. But inside the trailer, that sits there, and that sits there, and there's a bungee going across here. There's another bungee going across here, which wraps over and keeps this from moving. And they take up 0 space. They're in my walkway. I could still walk in the trailer. Anyway, thanks for watching. That was it. A little bit shorter video, but that's okay. I wanted to show you this thing. It works great, and it's slowly falling apart, but it's 2 years old, and it's a $20 or so table. These edges, that one's fine. This one's falling apart a little bit, but it hasn't fallen apart. It just has some damage on the end just from riding like that. And whenever it does, when it's lived its life, I have another one just like it that I can move these legs over to. I could even reconfigure them a little bit, but honestly, it works perfect. I made it one time. I haven't altered it at all, and it works perfect. It's handy. It's convenient. It stows away. It's portable. For my portable table saw, it's the perfect answer. Thanks for checking this out. Check out my other videos, and don't ever forget, I've got plans. I don't have any pictures or anything right now. I've got plans for my bar stools and my rocking chairs available at island-crown.com. Island-crown.com. Check it all out. Thanks again. See you next time.